All right, all right. I think we're good to go ahead and start here. Hello, everybody. Welcome on into the stream. I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. And hope everybody's having a great Wednesday, a good week so far. We're halfway through. Hello, Josh. Good to see you. Saw you were in the chat earlier. Hope you're having a good day today or good evening. And yeah, welcome to another genealogy stream. This is the 23rd genealogy stream that we've done for this photo, which is crazy. I'll talk a little bit about that more in a little bit because this is a little not like a or it's kind of a bit of a milestone. Today, who we're researching, I've actually been looking forward to for this whole time. Hey, Toki, good to see you. Welcome on in. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good day tonight. But yeah, we are going to be continuing our research today. I'm doing good. I had a a good like work's been easy this week. I had the good luck of a meeting that I had to go to today was canceled, so I didn't have to deal with that, which is always fantastic. When a meeting you're dreading, you end up not having to go to. But then, of course, as the universe is, they have to balance everything out. I did the whenever I before I stream on Wednesdays, I normally always get just because of convenience of like when I get home from work and like I need time, I always try to get like some sort of fast food thing. I decided to go to Taco Bell today, and unfortunately they messed up my order. They messed up my order. It was fine. Like, it wasn't, like, bad. Like, or it's like like, instead of, it's just a minor thing, but it's something that because my favorite thing that I always get, at Taco Bell is the grilled cheese burrito. The grilled cheese burrito is one of the best things that has ever been invented by a fast food chain, and I will stand on that. It is so good. And I always get specifically the chicken one, because I love the chicken, and it's better than like it's cheaper than the steak one, and it's better than like the seasoned beef. But for some reason, when I got mine, they gave me the seasoned beef one and not the chicken one. This, as I'm saying it out loud, I'm realizing this is very first world problems. This is such a first world problem that honestly, it's not that big of it's not an issue at all. But yeah, just a little thing. But hey, it still tasted good. That's all I care about. uh But yeah, so that's kind of how my day and week has been going. Very chill, very nothing really crazy since Sunday stream where we did our research. Everything went really well with that. I think that was a fun stream. Ended up staying up, of course, always end up staying longer than I initially planned. But let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing today, because I have a feeling that today is going to be a long one. Because since we are the third planet in our solar system, wouldn't that make all our problems third world problems? I mean, technically, yes. But if we're the only planet that has life on it, that has like sentient, like, life on it that we know of, does that technically make us the first planet? Like a first planet in that sense? Sure, numerically we are third from the sun, but yeah, see, exactly. Yeah, I would think that would make us first world planet in that case. But yeah, so today is going to be really interesting, and I want to get started a little earlier than normal and not nap as much in the beginning, because I think there's going to be a lot that we're going to have to sift through today, if my previous research is correct. Okay, so let me go ahead and shrink myself down here. All right, so here they are. The terrifying Victorian children. So today, we are down to the final 4 in this photo. Today we are going to be researching... Oh, dang it. Wait, I could have done a... Oh. I could have done a bit. Hold on, wait. I could maybe still do it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Wait, no. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, so today we are going to be... Okay, this is totally... I totally waited too long and the bit's kind of ruined now. But you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Today we are going to be researching number... 21. Oh, that's so stupid. But yes, we are researching number 21. Number 21 in this photo. Probably myself from early stream too. Today's stream will make me affiliate. Hey, congrats, man. That's awesome. Yeah, good luck with that, man. Hope you have a great stream and that you get affiliate. Hey, Paperclip, good to see ya. Hope you're having a great night tonight. Yeah, today we are going to be researching number... Hold on. Today we're going to be researching number... 21. So yeah. We're going to be researching number 21 in this photo. It's an important one, this 21, because if you look at the back of the photo... Hold on. Look at the back of the photo. Number 21 is Eleanor Metcalf. And that name might sound familiar because Eleanor Metcalf is the birthday girl in this photo. You can see right here. Eleanor Metcalf's birthday party. So the whole reason that this photo is taken... She is number 21 there is the whole reason this photo was taken in the first place. She's the birthday girl. She is the one that we are going to be researching today. So that's why this is a big one. This is one that I've been looking forward to for a while, and I am very much excited to learn more about the whole purpose, the whole subject matter for this photo, with it being her. My ultimate goal for today would be if we could find a newspaper article that references this party. I'm not guaranteeing it because it's not super common in these newspapers to celebrate a birthday. They don't do it every year. They only do it certain years. So I'm hoping that because this was a big enough of a party that it would maybe be referenced in the newspaper. But we'll see. One can hope. Yeah, and so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and head on over to our classroom here. The other reason why this is kind of a big moment is because after today, we'll have only 3 official people left to research from this photograph, and then we'll also have Henry Dunn as well. So after this, it should only be, not counting this stream, we should only have roughly 4 more streams of research for this photo, which I am, honestly, at this point, I am very excited. As much as I do love doing this research and this project, I'm getting kind of to that point after doing this because I just thought about it before stream. I started this project February 1st. I started this project on February 1st of this year. And at this rate, if everything goes well these next few streams, we will finish probably by mid-May. So that's over 3.5 months of these streams and researching just this single photo. And I have said this before, and I'll just reiterate it again, is that once we do finish researching this photo, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break from these research streams. Just because I don't want to burn myself out too much on this. I want to, like, you know, keep these streams, you know, a little bit fresh and everything. And we're gonna be doing some other fun stuff too. That's still history related and stuff like that. So yeah, so look forward to that. And the research streams will come back. They will come back. Maybe I might take like a month off, maybe, like the research streams roughly, just to, you know, like clear my head and, like, you know, figure out what I want to do next and everything. In the process for that, and also work more on this behind the scenes with other stuff. Yeah, so we only have, we're in the final, you know, final 5. Only 5 more, counting this one, only 5 more streams of research for this photo, which honestly is crazy. All right. So yeah, so like I said, today we're going to be researching Eleanor Metcalf, and I want to get started right away because I'm pretty sure, based on researching other people in this photo, she shows up in a lot of newspapers. She has a lot. She was very much a socialite. She was hosting parties, doing all kinds of things. So I know there's going to be a lot of her. So I want to get started now, so we're not here till like 10:30 at night. So let's go. Eleanor Metcalf. And we should find her pretty easily because we already found her sister, Marion. Here we go. Oops, hold on. Didn't mean to do that. Oops, nope. What is this? There we go. All right. Okay. So yeah, so this is her right here. Eleanor B. Metcalf, 17 in 1900 for the 1900 census. Born July of 1882. Which makes sense. And yeah, born in Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure she was also born in Taconic, and I'm pretty sure she lives there for her whole life. But we'll see. There's a decent amount of things here. All right, so let's look at this 1900 census. I'm pretty sure we've already seen this before, though, when researching Marion, because she's here too. Yep. Yeah, there's Marion right there, and there's Eleanor, with Henry and Pamela Metcalf, their parents. And at this point, they're living, for this census record, hold on. That just reminded me, I should pull this up. Okay, here we go. So at this point, by 1900, they are living in this house right here. And I've talked about this on previous streams, but I found this when we were researching Marion. This is their house, and their house is currently being renovated and turned into like an event space. Like an event space for like weddings, parties, and like stuff like that. It's not the house that's in the background of the photo above me, but it is the house that I believe they moved into it in 1895. So that means in 1900, they are living in this house. Also, my plan is when we're done doing our research and everything and wrapping that up, I will reach out to the owners of this mansion because they do have a thing. Like, they are actually very involved in like the history of the mansion and the Metcalf family, and are friends with some of Eleanor's actual descendants. So I'm hoping that I can get in contact with them and tell them everything that I've been doing and just kind of go from there. We'll see what happens, but that's the plan as of right now. Okay. So yeah, and I think Henry, so yeah, she's still in school, and he's technically a farmer. But I'm pretty sure he's farmer in the sense of, like, he's not actually doing the farm work. He's just... He owns land. He's a landowner, basically. Because they had money. They had a lot of money. Okay, so now we'll move on to 1910 census. And this one, we can see that her name has changed. She is now her married name, which is Dunn. Yeah, Eleanor. And I can't read that name. And then Henry, her son, and then their daughter Elizabeth, who, if that name Henry sounds familiar, that's because that Henry, their son, you look at the bottom here, was the owner of this photo, property of Henry M. Dunn. So he, this Henry right here on this census record is the same Henry who owned this photo at one point. Yep, it all connects. That's him. So we have, like, we now know who that is in this in that context. Okay, so what does her husband do? What does that say? Prothon Notary? Is that what that says? Hold on. What is that referring to? What is a Prothon Notary? Okay. Okay, I found it here. Yeah, Prothon Notary is a principal clerk of a court. Okay, yeah, like you just said there, Paperclip. Yeah, court clerk. Okay, I had never heard of that. I've heard of a notary, like a notary public, but I haven't heard specifically of a protho notary. Okay, so he worked in the court system. That honestly doesn't really surprise me because they were friends with a lot of people who worked in the courts. They were family friends with a lot of other people who worked in the courts. Okay, so let's look at 1920 census. Okay, here they are. Whoa, wait a second. Oh my. I didn't know. Hold on. Eleanor, head of the household, widowed. Her husband died. Whoa, that's actually... In all my other, like, preliminary research, I never discovered that. That's actually a genuine shock for me. Yeah, so... Wow, so she's now a single mother. So that makes me also wonder, did her kids, when did he, okay, we'll figure this out in a little bit, but when did he pass away? Because there's also a possibility that, depending on when it happened, that her kids might not even remember him. Yeah, poor Eleanor indeed. And she's working. Look at this. Retail merchant coal. So she's working for like probably like a local coal, like a mine or something like that, or like a dealer basically. And yeah, helping sell coal. So yeah, she has to work. Wow. I had no idea. Okay, hold on. Okay, the 1930 census. I don't think... does she remarry ever? Okay, and at this point she hasn't. She's still widowed. 10 years later. Yep, Henry and Elizabeth are still living with her. Living in 44... West Harrison Street. Which is next door. Hold on, 44... Let's see. Hey, Binka, good to see you. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great evening. Okay, so they lived right here. This is 44. So yeah, so they lived next door to the Metcalf. Hey, working from home today, so we can finally catch a Wednesday stream. That's awesome. That is awesome. I love a good work from home day. How goes the research? It's coming. It's coming along. So we just started. We're researching the girl above me today, who is Eleanor Metcalf, who, if you'll remember, Eleanor is the birthday girl in this photo. This is Eleanor Metcalf's birthday party photo. And she's the one who's the mother of Henry Dunn, who owned this photograph and everything. So this was also likely, that makes me think that this was also her photograph at some point, which honestly makes sense, because it's her birthday party. We just started, and we're going through census records right now, and we just discovered that while she got married sometime between 1900 and 1910, you can see here she is with her husband, who worked as a county clerk or a court clerk. By 1920, unfortunately, he had passed away, and she was a widow, single mother, and working as a retail merchant for a coal company. Which I was shocked when I discovered this, because I've seen a bit about Eleanor from researching the other people in this photograph. Like, I've learned a little bit about her. I had no idea about this. I knew she got married, but I didn't know... I knew she got married to a man with the last name Dunn. Let's see. You know, all these folks got pneumonia in 1918. Maybe the flu? Maybe. I mean, that's what we'll see next. I mean, when we research newspapers, we'll obviously find his obituary, hopefully, and we'll figure out what happened to him. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe even the flu that speak de Espanol. Yes, The Spanish flu. Yeah, it could be that. It could be anything. Honestly, during this time, it was great just to, just to not die from like just any regular flu, like just any, not even like the Spanish flu, just the flu, or regular pneumonia, just like not even gotten from a. Yeah, washing hands was still a novel concept. Yeah, I think by 1920 it started to become more like common and everything. But yeah, but I mean like infections and stuff. I mean, one of the people we researched, who was it? It was Ruth Hodley here. She died at the age of 18, and the reason why she died at 18 in 1898 is because she had a tooth removed and it got infected. And she died from blood poisoning because of that. So yeah, so it could have been really anything. Which, by the way, getting like an infection like in your mouth and everything, like back then, sounds like just a horrible, horrible way to go. Like that just sounds so horrible and miserable. Yeah, exactly. No anesthesia. I mean, they might have given her like some alcohol. But yeah, no anesthesia or anything like that. It just sounds awful. Okay, so then this 1930 census, I think we were looking at this. Yeah, 47, still never remarried. She has a radio, because that was something that they tracked in the 1930 census, was if you got a radio. And she does. Let's see. Is she working? Yeah, she's still a retail merchant in the coal yards. And Henry Dunn is a insurance agent. Look at that. That's terrifying. My mom almost died of sepsis due to pregnancy complications. Oh my god. Well, I'm super glad she recovered and everything. That's terrifying. But from a tooth, that's basically a one-way trip to your brain. Yeah, it's bad on so many levels. On just pain and discomfort. You probably can't barely eat anything with that kind of a condition. Just, ugh. It just sounds awful. Very, very, very awful. Other than Henry Dunn, we know of any other descendants of the folks in the pic? So yeah, so I did. I don't have names specifically written down, but I keep track of, in my spreadsheet, I keep track of if they had any children. I don't have names necessarily, but I don't know of any, like, off the top of my head, their names, but a lot of them didn't have children. Of the people we've researched so far, which is 20, I think about like 10 of them didn't have kids. Hold on. So about half. So about half the people in this photo have no direct descendants. So wait, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10. So 10 of the people in this photo don't have any descendants at all. So yeah. So I don't know. Henry Dunn is the only one I know specifically, and the only one that we're really going to research for this because his name is associated with the photo. And yeah. Otherwise, if I start researching like all the kids and everything like that, I'm going to be here forever. I'm going to be researching this photo until the day I die. That's a surprising ratio given how it seemed like having kids was a full expectation at the time. Yes, I was surprised by this too. Now, I'll be honest, some of this is because some of them die young. Like, of that 11, 4, like, wait, 1, 2, 3. 4. Oh wait, actually no, it's not 10. It's 11 technically. Because yes, while this person right here, Lillian Heckman, well yes, she did give birth to twins. Unfortunately, both those twins died in childbirth along with her, so she also has no descendants. Yeah, so actually it's 11. So yeah, so about half of them are because of they just died at a young age or were sick. I know this one here who died at 40, Mary Baldwin, she unfortunately had like epilepsy and like other like health conditions that she never got married or anything like that. And I think it was because, based on what I found, I think it was because of her health conditions that she really couldn't support herself and couldn't like, have kids or anything like that. So yeah, no, I was definitely surprised by the ratio with this one when I started researching it. And I know that one of the people that were researching later, one of the few we have left, I know Edna Brown here also never had kids. I know she never had kids because I discovered that when I researched her sister, Amy, because her sister Amy also never had kids. So 2 sisters in the same family, none of them, and they didn't die young. They lived to be, over 50. They never married and never had kids. All right, so let's look at, do we have a 1940 census here? We don't. And even though that she died, she, or even though her husband died, she still kept his last name the rest of her life. Everything on here is done. Okay, but there's not a 1940 census. Why is there no 1940 census? Okay, hold on. Eleanor. Whoops, hold on. Done. 1882. By 1940, I don't know if her kids would still be living with her. Probably not. Okay. Census and voter lists. 1940s. Oh, wait, did I spell it wrong? Wait. Hold on. I did. I did spell it wrong. Whoops. It's E. Hold on. Eleanor. Now there's this person. In 1940s, living in California. In Alameda. Same birth year, but why is she living in California? Yeah, no, this isn't her. This is Eleanor B is right, but this is a different. Yeah. That daughter is not one of her daughters. Okay, hold on. Let's look at this real quick. Yeah, there's no 1940 census. That's interesting. What do we have here? Oh, these are just newspaper articles, things that we're gonna find. Okay. So then let's look at this 1900 or 1950 census real quick. Okay, yeah, here she is. Let's see. Hey, Josh, have a great time. Have a good luck with your stream. Thank you so much for being here, and pet the kittens for me. Give them lots of pets for me. They deserve all the pets. But have a great, have a great time and everything. Good to see you, and thanks for being here. Okay, yeah, so she's living on her own now. In that house. She's 67. I mean, she's probably retired at this point. Yeah, she's retired. Okay, so we know she's around by 1950. Okay, what else do we have here? Let's look at... isn't there a marriage record? Yes. Let's look at this marriage record real quick. Okay, yeah, here we go. Full name of man, Thomas Merton Dunn. Full name of woman, Eleanor B. Metcalf. He was 23, she was 22. He was from Weatherly, Pennsylvania. She's from Taconic. Where's Weatherly? Hold on. Where's Weatherly in comparison? Oh, small. Wow, look at that. That's a tiny town. Where? Oh, wow, that's way far south. Okay, that's... Taconic is up here. Weatherly's down here. That's pretty far. Huh. Okay. And Wilkes-Barre and Taconic. Okay. Okay. But yeah, so we do have... So we didn't finish looking at it. Yeah, we have the marriage certificate. Parents' names, Thomas and Mary Dunn, Henry and Pamela Metcalf. Never married, white, assistant post... Okay, so he was an assistant postmaster. And then she was working housekeeper. So just helping around the house. Yep, and this is the thing, married. So yeah, so June 13th, 1905. So that's when they got married. June 13th, 1905. Okay, so that's when they got married. Officially. Let's see. And there's this church record. Is this church record also referring to her marriage? Yep, it is. Yeah. Yep, Thomas Dunn, Eleanor Metcalf. Yeah, Weatherly, Titanic. Weird that the actual date isn't here. This is June 7th, 1905. That could just be the June 13th could just been when they signed the marriage certificate officially. Okay, next, let's... Wait, there's two other things I want to look at here. Or no, three other things. Let's look at this birth certificate. This is probably going to be for one of her kids, if I had to guess. Yes, this is Elizabeth. So this is their daughter. He was born, or she was born... April 4th, 1909. Only one child. Elizabeth Benedict Metcalf Dunn. Wow, what a name. EBMD. Yeah, female. Legitimate, yes. Yeah, April 4th, 1909. Thomas and Eleanor. Titanic, 2726. And a prothonotary. That's what, so by 1909, between 1905 and 1909 is when he becomes that. Okay, and then this World War I draft registration. I'm assuming this is for her son. Yeah, Thomas Merton Dunn. Oh, wait. Wait, no, this is her husband. 36. He was a coal dealer. So after being a prothonotary, he became a toll dealer. Employer's name Self. So then did she take over his business when he died? Did she like take over because if it was he was a self-employed coal dealer? Okay, he did have tuberculosis when he was younger. That's very sad, but also cool as hell if he has. Yeah, no, I hope that like it was her taking over and that we have a, you know, a woman business owner in the 19 teens. Oh my god, and look at this. Wait, look at this. Signature of registrar, the person who signed this World War I draft card for him was Henry W. Lewis. Henry Lewis is number 2 in the photo. Hold on, let me pull it up. Yeah, Henry Lewis is number 2 there in the photo. He was number 2 in the photo and was also Eleanor's cousin. So Eleanor's cousin signed this draft card. Was he related to Helen? Yes, Helen was his sister. They're siblings. There's 3 Lewises. There's Harry, there's Helen, and then at the bottom here we have Mabel, who we haven't researched yet, and they're all siblings. Helen is the oldest. Helen is the oldest. Harry is the middle, and then Mabel, I believe, is the youngest. I feel like I know these folks. Oh, you and me both. I have gotten way too parasocial with these people. Like this is the most like parasocial I think I've gotten with like people I've researched before. just because we spent so long on this, and I feel like I know Tacanic, like, and Wyoming County way too well for someone who has never lived there or in the area. For someone who has, like, never set foot in this area, it's crazy how well I know it. Which one is your Oshi? Oh, God. Oh, I don't want to pick favorites. Don't make me pick favorites. I mean, in terms of, like, their story and what they went through, it might be Jessie. Because she traveled the world and fled a war for 5 months across, like, the Middle East and Asia at a time where that was extremely difficult and dangerous. Like, that's just cool as hell. Yeah, exactly, Paperclip. A lot of them were such genuinely unique and interesting people. Yeah. Still staying my birthday twin, Helen the librarian. Oh, hell yeah. That's actually, yeah, that makes sense. That's a perfect match right there, yeah. Yeah. Just hope you don't, that's where the similarities end. Please don't get hit by a truck on your birthday like she did. She had the very unfortunate end of getting hit by a truck while walking home to her, like, across the street from her house on her birthday. But also, like, oh god, but Eliza too, though. Eliza's story was just insane to uncover. Like, all the stuff that we did with that. Eliza was also really cool. And even though she didn't live that, she was the person who died the youngest out of all the people at 15. She had the shortest life out of anybody in this photo, but had the craziest, like, story. Before we found Jessie, I think she had by far the craziest, like, just story of just, like, everything that happened around her and her family, like, both before and after her death, was just insane. I will look both ways. Please do. Always look both. Everybody look both ways. Everybody should look both ways before they cross. So yeah, it's between Jessie and Eliza. I think I'll go with Jessie, though. But I do really like Eliza as well. Okay, so that's the World War I draft card. Let's look at this passport. Okay, when was this? Okay, so this is for Thomas and Eleanor. Born in Weatherly, state of Pennsylvania, 1881. Father is a native citizen of the United States, and I am domiciled in the United States, permanent residence, Tacanic, in the state of Pennsylvania, where I put by my occupation of clerk of courts. That I am go to abroad temporarily, and that I intend to return to the United States within 1 year with the purpose of residing and performing the duties of citizenship therein. So they both went, because this is accompanied by my wife. 32 years old. So this is February of 1913. They have kids. Blonde hair, apparently. Dark complexion. chin medium, mouth medium, nose broad, eyes blue, forehead broad. It's like a character. This feels like a character customization like page. 5 feet 9 inches. Okay, so on the next page though, is there? Oh no, the back that really? Oh man. Because a lot of times on the back of like the page, they'll have like they'll have something else. But it looks like they only did the one side. Yeah, dang it. Okay, so they did go to Europe for a year. Or actually, no, did it say Europe? No, it doesn't even say where they're going. It's just that they're getting a passport. Okay. So then there's that. What else is here? I think the next thing we'll look at this family history book, which I think we've probably already seen when we researched Marion. Yes. Okay, yeah, we've already looked. Okay, so Mary Genevieve Metcalf married Byron Lewis, and they had Helen Lewis, Henry Lewis, and Mabel Lewis. And then Mary's brother Henry Metcalf married Pamela Benedict and had 2 kids, Marion Metcalf and Eleanor Metcalf. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that Marion is the older sibling than Eleanor. I get them mixed up. For some reason I keep thinking Eleanor's older. But yeah, so that's how the Lewises and the Metcalfs are related. They're cousins because their father, Henry Metcalf, is the sister of the Lewis children's mother. Or sorry, Henry is the brother of the Lewis children's mother. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. I think the next thing we have to look at is, unfortunately, we gotta go for the death certificate. So let's figure out when she passed away. Okay, place of death, Luzerne County, Wilkes-Barre, at the General Hospital. 44 West Harrison, yep. Date of death, June 27th, 1953. Okay, so only 3 years after... Where is it? This one. Yeah. Only 3 years after the census record. She passed away. Housewife, occupation. Which is crazy that they put that. I mean, maybe that's what she was doing at the time she died, but like, we know that she worked for the coal company. And then, yeah, there's her father, there's her mother. Yeah, widow. Informant's signature, Henry Dunn. So Henry, her son, signed this. Let's see. Signature, funeral director, registrar signature. Burial. It says here, okay, these are always the hardest to read, like the cause of death. Acute coronary something Brosis with yeah, I don't know what that says. I genuinely don't know what that says. These are hard because it's Dr. Chicken Scratch and it's also just straight up gibberish, honestly. When you don't know what the word is, because it's like all professional medical terms. Okay. So then we also then have her. We have her grave. Okay, yeah, so we got Eleanor Benedict Metcalf Dunn. Yeah, July 13th, 1882. June 27th, 1953. Age 70. Buried in good old Sunnyside Cemetery. I think like over like... Hold on. How many people are buried in Sunnyside Cemetery? Including Eleanor. So Eleanor is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. So 15 of the 21 people we've researched are in this same cemetery. Looks like acute coronary thrombosis with hyperlipidemia. Dang, you're good, Paperclip. I could not see that. Hold on. Acute coronary thrombosis or thrombosis with hyperlipidemia. No, I don't think it's hyperlipidemia now I'm looking at, because it looks like it just looks like there's one downward like droop here for like an H or for a Y or a P. And there's 2 here. And that looks like a Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. Myocardial. No, okay, that's what it is. The Y. Okay, I got confused because the Y from the coronary up here was mixing with this. I thought it was an H. But that's, yeah, myocardial Yes, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Great job, Paperclip. Yeah. That's what it, yeah, this is what threw me off right here. It's a heart attack. Okay. She had a heart attack, basically. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. Great job. My mom does medical records, and I was a latchkey kid. God bless the early 90s. Oh yeah, so that means you got access to all the records then. Just reading all those records with like all these different things on, and then you also have to learn how to read, doctor's handwriting, which is famously hard to read. Straight up went to work with her at the hospital. Wow. That's crazy. Okay, so cemetery listing, wife of Thomas Martin Dunn. Thomas Dunn, October 25th, 1918. Eleanor M. Yeah, married in 1905. Death certificates. Okay, yeah, that's all stuff we already kind of know. Yeah, children Henry Dunn and Elizabeth Dunn. DeWitt Herman. I used to help her file back when files were physical. Yeah. Yep, back when everything was on paper. Okay, so it says that there's more here other than just her grave photo. Oh, this is just a zoom in of it. So Eleanor Dunn. Okay, this is a thing for her funeral. This is Eleanor M. Dunn. Funeral services for Mrs. Eleanor Metcalf Dunn on 44 West Harrison Street, Tacanic, were held this afternoon at the home of her daughter, Mrs. Betty DeWitt Tacanic. Reverend Roberts Smiral of Tacanic Presbyterian Church officiated. Interment was in Sunnyside Cemetery. And this is her death certificate that we just saw. And yeah, that's both of them. Okay. So, now that we got all this stuff, I say let's start doing newspapers, because I think that's the thing that's going to take us the longest time here. Because she had a lot. She was very popular. She was very much like a socialite. So yeah, so she was born 1882. Let's do 1882 to 1900. And like I said, my goal is that we find a newspaper article that references this birthday party. I'm not guaranteeing it. It's kind of unlikely, honestly, but that's the goal. Also, hold on a second. I just realized something. What does it say on the back of the photo again? Okay, it just says birthday party. Does it say anything on the front? Hold on. Eleanor Metcalf. Okay, it just says birthday party. I thought for a second that like maybe it said like what year, or like not the like what age she said, like if it was her 7th birthday party or 6th birthday party, but it doesn't. So now we know though that it's her 6th because of, you know, when her birth date here. This was her 6th birthday party. So she's turning 6 years old in this photo. So let's go Wyoming, County, Pennsylvania, and let's see what we got. All right, 14 to start off. Starting with the oldest. Okay, so unfortunately it does not look like there's a newspaper article that talks about her birthday party. Because the first thing we have here is from 1892, and then the photo was taken in 1888. So 4 years later is the next thing, but it looks like there's a ton starting in 1900. So let's look at this one from 1892 here. Eleanor Metcalf, little daughter of H.F. Metcalf, is recovering from an attack of the mumps. Oh, God. Oh, the mumps. Oh, God, that... I know I've heard of, the mumps and everything, but my only physical reference of what the mumps like actually does to a person, my only reference to it is from that episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Captain Holt and Jake get the mumps and they have to quarantine in a house. That is my only reference to what the mumps does and what it's like. And if I can't imagine going through that in the 1890s. That sounds like it sucks. And she's 10 years old. She's 10 years old when this happened to her. Or not even 10. Because it's March of 1892. So no, she's 9. She's 9 years old. Yes, mandatory 9-9. Exactly. Great show. I think it might be my favorite comedy show of all time. Yeah, excruciating with like no modern medicine or anything like that. Hello, Aeon. Good to see you. Welcome on in. How you doing? I also agree that Die Hard is the best movie ever. Oh, you are just Jake then at that point. when my mom and I went on vacation, we went to the UK last year. Anytime we saw something that we wanted our, like to take a photo of or be in a photo for, we would say, take my picture with it. Like they do when they go to Nakatomi Plaza in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We kept saying, take my picture with it. Yeah, great show. Probably, yeah, I think the best, my favorite comedy of all time. All right, so that's the first newspaper article, but then we jump ahead 6 years later to 1898. What is this? Miss Clara Benedict of Pitson spent Christmas with the guest of Mrs. Marion and Eleanor Metcalf on Harrison Street. Okay, so this is her and Marion doing stuff together. Okay, what about this? Okay, let's see. Mrs. C.E. Terry and Mrs. Harry Metcalf are visiting Mrs. Tate in Philadelphia this week. They are accompanied by Mrs. Helen Terry and Eleanor Metcalf. Mrs. Tate is the cousin of Mrs. Terry and Mrs. Metcalf and is daughter of M.B. Hall of South Eaton. Okay. So yeah, that's the other thing too. The Terrys in this list, there are two Terry. There's Helen Terry and Ruth Terry. Yeah, Helen Terry and Ruth Terry. And the Terrys are also cousins to the Metcalfs, but they're cousins on her mother's side. On their mother's side. The Lewises are cousins on their father's side. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is the same article right here. Okay, this is 1899. The Ladies' Banjo Club is composed of Mrs. Mabel Lewis, Eleanor Metcalf, Martha and Hannah Lobeck, Leslie DeWitt, Mrs. Charles A. Graham. The club meets for practice once a week with Professor J.F. Wiggins as teacher. The Ladies' Banjo Club was probably really bumping back in 1899. But yeah, we have Mabel Lewis and Eleanor Metcalf, so the two cousins hanging out together and being part of this club together. Oh wow, so a lot of these are just repeats. These are repeats of the same article. What's this one? The Spinster Club. Entertainment at Piazza Opera House Monday evening was liberally patronized and no one went away dissatisfied. The net proceeds were $45. Among those who took part who were not on the program were Miss Leah Burns, Ruth Pyatt, Miss Eleanor Metcalf, and Miss Metzer. Okay, so yeah, she's doing the thing that seems to be very common during this time, which is like she's very involved in a lot of different clubs. Oh, Tacanic golfers play the game at the fairground. Among those who indulge are Miss Eleanor Little, Helen and Mabel Lewis, Ruth Pyatt, and Eleanor Metcalf. Yeah, she's definitely golf in 1900, and doing golf in like probably what is, you know, like crazy Victorian dresses at the time. Sounds just like crazy, like encumbering to try and do golf in like a crazy dress. Hey, Flora. Hello, welcome on in. Oh, why did that not load? That's... Whoa, that is weird. Why are your... Hold on. Huh. That is weird that the emails aren't showing up. Interesting. How are you doing? I'm doing good. How are you? Oh, they show for you. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, for some reason they... Yeah, they're not showing on my screen for some reason. Huh. That's weird. Anyway. But yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing? We're currently researching... the girl above me is Eleanor Metcalf, and if that name sounds familiar, it's because she... Oh, wait, hold on. This one, yeah. She is the birthday girl in this photo. Eleanor Metcalf's birthday party. So we're researching her and trying to learn more about her and her family. We're going through newspapers so far. Yep, Eleanor herself, exactly. We've learned a couple things. We learned she passed away in 1953 at the age of 70. We know that she has 2 kids, Henry and Eleanor, or Elizabeth. And we know that she gets married. To a man named Thomas Dunn in 1905. But unfortunately, we also discovered that unfortunately Thomas passed away in 19 when was it? In 1918. So then she unfortunately had to raise her kids as a single mother, and was also working, which we believe at this point, we believe that she was working, it says here, as a retail merchant for a coal company. But we believe that coal company was actually her husband's coal company that she took over. So yeah, so now we're going through newspapers of her early life, which is mostly her, going to parties, doing stuff with clubs, all the fun stuff. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is... Okay, wait, so this is... Okay, so this is Harry Lewis. This is her cousin, who we've already researched. Who's graduating from Manlius, New York. And her cousin Helen went to the graduation exercises. Yes, she is definitely living life to the fullest. She is doing all kinds of clubs and like parties and stuff like that. Classic, like early 1900s, socialite, you know, kind of life. Socialite for the area. She's not like New York socialite, but she's Tacanic socialite, which is rural Pennsylvania. So you know. Okay, that's just somebody visiting her. What about this one? Miss Eleanor Metcalf of Harrison Street is entertaining her friend, Miss Margaret. Okay, yeah, that's the same person we already read. Let's see, and then what about this one from December? Okay, Eleanor Metcalf entertained her friends, Miss Margaret Seymour of West Pittston. Okay. One thing I am going to do real quick. If I get rid of that. Oh, wow, yeah, there's a lot more to this. Let's see. Hold on. This is... Okay, wow, yeah, there's 90 here. Which it looks like it's a lot of it is just... Yeah, her going to parties and events. And then this is her, I think, going to school. Hold on, let me look at this. Oh, this is this... Okay, her cousins and her cousin and her sister going to visit... Yeah, okay, they're going to visit Elmira College. Because she wouldn't... Oh, yeah, no, she wouldn't graduate until 1900, roughly. Because of when she was born. Post-Gazette. Oh, do you know that newspaper? Paperclip? Let's see. Excuse me, sorry, I had to mute to cough real quick. I'm going to get some water. It's my local rag. Oh, almost just went under, but got bought by a firm from Baltimore. The owners were just responsible for the longest labor strike of all time. They were not on the good side. Oh, wow. Dang. That is... How long was it? If it's the longest of all time. Three years. Wow, that is insane. Labor strike for 3 years. I'm hoping that the people striking got, you know, they got what they wanted after 3. I would hope they would after 3 years. I thought we had long ones, but yeah, I mean, well, Europe in general is famous for, you know, compared to the US with like their strikes and everything. In fact, when we were wait, hold on, sorry. They did. The Supreme Court had to rule, but even this garbage court was like, this ain't it, chief. Wow. Even this Supreme Court was like, no, this isn't. Yeah, wow, that is crazy. That's crazy if this, yeah, if this Supreme Court thought that, wow. Hey, Pirate, good to see you. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great evening. But yeah, I mean, the strikes in Europe, I mean, when I was when I was in London for uh when I was in London in September, of the 5 days we were in London, 4 of those days there was a tube strike. So for 4 of the 5 days we were in London, we couldn't use the tube. But honestly, it turned out not being that bad because then we got to do like other things. Like if we had just used the tube, we got to use the like ferry boats that are, you know, go down the Thames. That I thought that were actually really cool. We took some of the double-decker buses. We had to improvise. A woman I had gone to high school with wrote for their sort of sister paper for years, so I felt invested. That's cool. That's awesome. That's a cool little like local connection. As someone from a city with 3 rivers, I am deeply disappointed we don't have river-based transport. I know. I feel like it's very underrated. I mean, obviously it depends on the rivers, but like I feel like, yeah, river travel is underutilized nowadays compared to, you know, back in the day. Oh, wait, what is... Oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. Wait, what did I just click on? Oh, I think I accidentally did that. Okay. Hold on, which one was I looking at? I got... Okay, hold on. It was this one. Miss Eleanor Metcalf is among the number of new students who have recently taken under the study of the banjo under Professor George Carr of Scranton. Look at that. So she's still doing the banjo. She was part of the Ladies Banjo Club earlier. We saw earlier that she was part of the Ladies Banjo Club, and she's still doing it. This woman is an American hero, yes. Playing the banjo. Back in the day in Wales, we had a huge village-wide strike, especially where villages were built to serve factory needs. Factory owners made their own currencies and locked the workers in by paying them only in those currencies. Yes, we had there's a similar thing in the US too. I forget what the term for it is, but yes, we had that in like miners in like Appalachia. Scrib, yes. Thank you, Paperclip. Yes, that's what it's called. Yeah, we had that here in America too. There were union shutdowns because of Thatcher's closures in the 80s. The ones I'm thinking of were much earlier. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because the Scrib thing, yes, that is earlier. In the US, at least, that was earlier. So yeah, no, we had a similar thing here in the US, in like, what's like Pennsylvania, in West Virginia, you know, kind of like mining towns and everything. And, oh yeah, and the steel mills too, yeah. Yeah, and I think some of like the factories in like Detroit and stuff like that, I think also had that too. Let's see. Oh wait, what is this? Let's see. Oh, these are just people who attended the game. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought this was something else. I thought this was a thing talking about them playing a game. But this is just them attending one. Yeah, company towns. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, company towns were just insane what they would do. And what's the... Oh, yeah, it's the... What's that song? There's like that kind of like country folk song. I owe my soul to the company store, I think is what it's called. Yeah, that's kind of about... That's the song I know that's about like company towns and stuff like that. Yes, I sold my soul to the company store, yeah. My dad was briefly and not for most of his career an Appalachian coal miner. Wow, that just... It's one of those things where, like, I've seen, you know, people talking about, like, this is just kind of my own personal opinion, really, but, like, you see people talk about all the time of, like, oh, we need to bring back coal because, you know, these regions in, like, West Virginia and stuff like that are dying. These towns and, like, local economies are dying because of coal is going away. But every time I see people like talk about, like, locals talk about the history of like coal mining and also the coal mine companies, they all like hate them. And like, I like it's just a weird dichotomy of like they need them. They say they need them for the economy, but throughout almost all of history, even up to the present day, they uh they are still like hated. Like it's this weird, like, I don't know. It's weird. Oh, okay, I missed some things. We had ours couples with language clashes as too. Locals, Welsh speakers, rarely spoke the owner's language, mostly English. In the really bad times, they called the workers all David, Davis, etc. when they were punishing them for rebellion, so nobody could attach identity to them. Wait, Flora, do you speak Welsh? I'm just curious, because, like, you are, I'm assuming, from Wales, based on everything you've been saying. There's a fantastic book that just came out called Beyond Steel that basically lays the case that steel and coal failed this region in the 1950s, and we have been keeping it on life support the whole time because we simply refuse to acknowledge that anything would ever change. That doesn't surprise me, honestly. I mean, it's been on life support for a while. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce that, Flora, but I'm assuming that means I'm learning. Because I can't. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. My family was one of the majority forced to not teach their children and grandchildren Welsh. Really? That's out, because my follow-up question was going to be like, did you go to one of those? Because I know they're trying to bring it back, and there are schools now. There are like some schools that are like being set up where like they do teach in Welsh and everything, and they're kind of trying to bring it back slowly. So yeah, so you've had to basically learn on your own because your parents and grandparents wouldn't teach you. Wow. Because I will admit, when I went to Wales last year, it's such a unique language that like I remember like looking at like signs that were both in English and in Welsh, and it's like they are completely separate. Like Welsh medium schools are on the up, but it's been extremely hard fought. There's a strong anti-Welsh movement now? Really? Like within Wales, an anti-Welsh movement? Or is this like just in the UK as a whole? Because that would be insane if that's coming from within Wales itself. Within Wales and wider. Wow. Huh. It's seen as anti-English and anti-union. I see. Yeah. Okay. I guess that makes sense. That is something with like the UK that I think is really interesting. Or because it goes back to like um how people identify or how people see their own identity with like, you know, because there's British, but then there's also English, Wales, and Scottish, Welsh, and Scottish, and Irish, like how it all like kind of molds and stuff like that, like, or how it like how people view themselves or how they identify themselves with in a place like the UK, I think is like very fascinating, and how there are some of these like movements to like, you know, preserve like, you know, the more local culture like Welsh and Scottish and stuff like that, and Gaelic and things like that. But then there's also this other side that's like trying to like be more like more pro-British, you know, if that makes sense. From within Wales, it's from places where Welsh was mostly driven out, and a lot of English families came to settle and work. I mean, the English haven't given anyone a very big reason to be pro-English, given the past. Czechs watched 1,200 years. Yeah. Yes, that is very true. So they feel it's an attack on their belonging, which of course it isn't. Everyone's happy to speak English. We just want to revive and keep Welsh. Yeah. Huh. You're right, Paper. It does kind of remind me of like the whole Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays stuff, but on more like a more for like a national, like a national cultural scale, you know. Yeah. No, that's really interesting. Also, does that mean you can speak both Welsh and French? Dang, you are multilingual. Framed as nationalism versus patriotism. Yeah. Okay, I see that. This is a cool conversation. I love learning. This is why I love streaming this stuff. You get to learn cool things like this about other people and their cultures. I translate Welsh into French because I understand French better. That is crazy. We got taught French, not Welsh. Wow. Hey, I mean, when I was in high school, I took 3 years of German. I was an idiot and didn't take Spanish, which would have actually been like helpful and useful in the US. I took German because my ancestors were German, and I've forgotten most of it. And I do love German, but it's like I've forgotten so much. It's like I can understand like a little bit of it if I read it. I know. Wait, how do you say that? Holly d'olive? Hule d'olive? Is that a type of sandwich? So good, I typed it twice. I took 9 years of Spanish, thanks to thank goodness, because I ended up moving to a largely Latino community. Yeah, that is. I mean, I grew up in California, so like, I should have taken Spanish. I really should have taken Spanish, but I was like, no, I want to be different. And now I went with Oh god, wait, hold on, paperclip. I want to see if I can. Okay, wait. Aber ja, so but yeah, but yes. Naturally, Hans. Ah, god. Not Nas is. I don't. Okay. Hair set under a water. Sit under a. He sits under a waterfall. Aber ja, natürlich. Hans Nas ist. Er sitzt unter einem Wasserfall. Something about sitting under a waterfall. Naturally, Hans is wet. Okay. He's supposedly standing beneath. He's standing beneath a waterfall. Supposedly the only German phrase James May knows. That's funny. Hello, Onion. Good to see you. Sorry I missed your thing earlier. There are still 25,536,410 Americans solely with English ancestry in the United States, according to the last census. I mean, I have partial English ancestry, but I don't know if I would count if that's solely English ancestry. Oh, that's olive oil that I was saying earlier. Okay. So yeah, it's like my favorite German word by far is Kartoffel, which is potato. I don't know what it is. I just love saying it, Kartoffel, and just reading it. It's just a fun word. And the fact that it's for potato, I don't know. I think that makes it better because who doesn't love potatoes? I have literally no English ancestry. I mean, I'm basically a mutt. I'm a mutt when it comes to, like, you know, European ancestry. Because, like, I always told people before I took, like, one of those DNA 23andMe tests, I always told people I was half German, half miscellaneous. Because my dad's side of the family has been in America for so long that we don't know what they are, really, and mix so much and everything. But my mom's side is more classic immigrant family. It's like the butterfly thing. Everything has a beautiful word for butterfly, and German is like Schmetterling. Yes. Cucumber in Spanish is pepino, and that's funny to me. I love pepino. I love that too. Predominantly from a Catholic or Protestant family. Yeah. Oh, you're right, Paperclip. That would be an awesome name for a cat. That is a great cat name. Pepino. I love that. Okay. As much as I am loving this conversation, I think we do have to try and do a little bit more research because there are a lot of newspapers we have to go through. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, this is a lot of those, like, you know... Oh, you guys aren't being a nuisance. It's just... It's like, you know, it's like when you're in school and, like, when you don't want to talk about the thing you're supposed to study, you distract the teacher by, like, talking about a subject that you know will get them, like, rambling or going off on something. See, Miss Helen Lewis entertained the following guests at her home. Leonard Metcalf, Mabel Lewis. Anybody else we know here? Harry Lewis, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna be thinking about Peppino the cat all evening, though. I mean, yeah, that is a good... I really do love that as a cat name. That is a great cat name. I throw a funny Dutch word at you, but I don't remember any. And when you remember one, throw it at random and with pride. Yes. Because Dutch, like, from what I remember, from what I've seen of Dutch really does... It looks like if German and English had a drunk baby, is how I describe how Dutch looks. Because it's like, I look at it, and it's like, that kind of looks like German, but wrong. You know? Like, that's how it looks. Oh, look at this! More banjo. Look at this. The following are members of the Ladies' Banjo Club. Look at that. She's still in the banjo club, still doing the banjo. The name Peppino reminds me of that one guy on the Angolan TV show who just came on and started doing... Yes! I was thinking the same thing, Onion! But I think he says... I don't think he says Peppino. It's like Pepenu or something like that. Yes, Onion. Yeah, okay. We have the same brain cell, Onion. I was thinking the same thing. Sometimes, if you don't know their spelling, you think somebody just fell on the keyboard with places like... I mean, to be 100% honest, that just looks more like Welsh to me. I feel like that describes Welsh more than Dutch. No offense, Flora. It's all Welsh to me. I mean, it's true, though. I do remember there's that classic clip of, I remember there was a clip of, Sea Dog VA, who's Welsh and speaks Welsh. And he was trying to, like, figure out who in his chat was actually Welsh. And so he asked, like, a specific question of, like, okay, what is this specifically Welsh holiday in Welsh? Like, how do you say it? And, like, some people were, like, typing it right, but then the entire chat was filled with people just, like, spam mashing their keyboards. Pretending it was Welsh. It was so funny. And he says, like some of you are... Okay, a lot of you are just clearly typing your... are clearly just mashing your keyboards, and I don't appreciate that. Okay, what's this one? Literary Club of... Oh, Literary Club. Met this evening with Miss Eleanor Metcalf. Okay, so she's also part of the Literary Club. I like to ask German speakers what they think of Dutch. It's usually some variation of, sounds like a drunk German dude with a concussion. Yeah. Yeah, that's how a lot of... That's honestly how I kind of see Dutch, too, because I do know a little bit of German. But I love, you know, like, the Netherlands and everything. I've been to Amsterdam. It was an awesome, really cool city. Even though we had... we had a terrible bus driver when we were there. We did a, one of those, you know, because we had, like, one day. We had a day trip to Amsterdam, me and my parents. And we just got one of those, like, combo... It was one of those like deals when you get at the train station where it's like a double-decker bus tour and like also a canal tour. And the double-deck bus we were on, first of all, was super late all the time, and like just constantly like late and everything, to the point where we were almost trying to. We thought we were gonna miss our cruise, our like canal cruise and everything that we had. And we're driving in the bus, and then as we're driving, suddenly we just hear this bang. This loud bang, and it turns out the bus driver's mirror hit another car, a parked car, and then he immediately just goes like, okay, everybody off the bus, and so we got off, we got let off at this random spot, and we had to run to the canal tour place. My parents and I, we had to run. And we barely made it. We just made it in time so that we were able to get our canal tour. So that was my Amsterdam. I mean, we did do other fun stuff. Like, we went to the Van Gogh Museum, we went to the Anne Frank house and stuff like that. So we did have some cool, and it's a beautiful city. But I want to go back. I want to go to the Rijksmuseum specifically, because everything I've seen about the Rijksmuseum online looks awesome. Now, would you go to Cabo Verde with me and the boys? There are 40 of us. Oh, God. That is crazy. That is way too many. I mean, I like going on trips with friends, but, like, that's too many people, personally. For me. Okay. Eleanor Metcalf gave a dinner party to a number of her friends last Wednesday evening in honor of Miss Jeanette Fassett. The guests... Oh, yeah, I remember this one. Okay, yeah, we saw this one already. I must see this car-free society they speak of. I hope I don't get run over by bicycle gang. Oh, God, yeah, the bicycles there are scary. And just how many there are. And, like, the like, at the, like, the train stations or the metro stations, how they have, like, those just, like, parking garage... Like, several floors, like, parking garages for just bicycles. It's insane. You'd want to give a bus for 40 people, yeah. How about only 10 of us? I mean, that's better. I can do 10. Oh no, Flora, did something happen to your... Please tell me your bicycle didn't get, like, stolen or something. I have been at my most reckless on a bicycle. Oh no, that is... It's... I'll admit, Flora, I have a hard time picturing you being, like, reckless. Let's see, that's just another list. Let's see, wait, what is this? Hope Northrup gave a party to a member of her friends Tuesday evening. Okay, yeah, she was there for this party. Let's see, we're almost through this list here. I was indeed a reckless ne'er-do-well on my bike. Oh no, were you in a bike? Were you in one of the bike gangs that they're talking about? Were you in a roving bike gang? Because now I'm picturing you like doing like crazy like, you know, like X Games like BMX bike tricks, and it's really funny in my head. Doing like crazy flips and stuff on like giant ramps. Let's see, what is this? Oh wait, yeah, hold on. What was the music for? Hold on, wait, what was that? Hold on, that was the one that's not the one that's playing right now, but the one just before it. Was it? Hold on, wait, was it? Oh wait, no, shoot. Oh no, that was very wrong. I messed up. Oh no, I don't know where we were. Oh no. Okay, no, it wasn't this one. Was it this? Okay, well maybe we'll hear it again. I accidentally clicked on the wrong button and like made it go to like a different part of the playlist or the video that I have. Here, I'll just share the video with you guys. It's literally just a video called Niche and Obscure, No Thoughts, Head Empty Nintendo Music. It's an 8-hour video. I knew I'd recognize some of these. Great choice. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, because... And also, it's copyright free. Like, I haven't had any copyright issues with this one, thankfully, with this playlist. So that's why I keep using it. It's 8 hours, so it's a good loop. And that way I just don't, have to worry about... Because I'm scared to try another video, a different video, because I'm nervous that I'm going to get, like, a copyright strike. Because my, fun fact, my VOD for my April Fool's stream, when I uploaded it to my VOD channel, apparently the playlist that I was using, which was video game music, it was like horror game music, it got blocked. It got a copyright strike and got blocked and is blocked in some countries. I don't know which countries. I don't know who can see it or not, but yeah, so it's not 100% visible to everybody. Let's see. We'll do one quick look through. How about this one? Cylinder Metcat gave a party to a number of friends last Tuesday or Thursday evening. Okay, yeah, that's just... You can set up the stream so that the music doesn't show up in the VOD. Yes, I am aware that is a thing. But I think I need to, like, don't I need, like, what's it called? Like an audio splitter for that? I think I need, like, an audio splitter to do that. Oh, really? You can do it in OBS. Okay. That's good to know. Oh, thank you, Flora. Yes, that would be very helpful. Yes, if you can send that to me. I will admit that means that these VODs then are going to be like very quiet and awkward of just me silently like sitting here with like no music in the background. Because I'll admit, it's very funny, Flora, with your Baby Steps stream the other day, where we were playing like music and stuff. It's very funny watching the VOD because there are parts where like you're dancing around, but there's no music playing at all. It's just silent. It's really funny. You can set it to royalty-free stuff for YouTube. Okay. Yeah, no, that's all good to... That is good to know. We're popping to nothing. Yes, we are. We dance to the voices in our head. Yes, we do. Let's see. I love the dancing emotes because it's going to this music that's playing right now. Just rocking out, shaking to head empty Nintendo music. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's go back to Wyoming County real quick. And let's change it from 1901 to 1910. Now, after this... Okay, there is some. It doesn't surprise me that it kind of stops after 1908 because that's when did she get married again? She got married 1905, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see. The social held at Piet's Opera House Christmas night was an enjoyable affair. Those in attendance were okay, yeah, and then she's there. Yeah, this is just her attending Christmas party. That Sunday, visited people. Who'd she go to Wilkes-Barre with? Helen Terry, her cousin. Her and Helen Terry seem to have been pretty close because they do a lot of stuff together. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, yeah, this is her. And here, this is her graduating from high school. Eleanor Metcalf, Pearl Dietrich. Yeah, we found this when we were researching Marion the other day. Marion Lighton. Yeah, Pearl, Marion, and Eleanor were in the same high school class. Well, is this her going to school? No, it's just her going to the lake, apparently. Hold on. Okay, here we go. This is her and her sister going to the same school. They both went to Elmira. So her and her sister went to the same school. Is this the same thing? And also Mabel Lewis went there too. So the two sisters and their cousin went to the same school. Yeah, this is them going to school. September of 1902. Yeah, that's still them going to school. Let's see. This is them. Yeah, so she did go to college. We do know that at least. Yeah, okay, yeah, and this is them going to school. Like, this is a bunch of people. This is Pearl, this is Marion, and Mabel and Eleanor, all talking about all. That's I'm gonna keep this one because that says where they all went to school. Oh wait, does this have more? Hold on. Okay, yeah, actually, I'm gonna keep this one because that one has more information. So that's why there's so many for 1903 and 1902, because she was in school. And they have a newspaper article for every time she left and came home. That's why there's always so many during this time. Yeah, home for summer, spend Thanksgiving. Not this one. Oh, now they're going to Drexel Institute. Hold on. Oh, wait. What about this one? So now they're going here. Now they're going to Drexel Institute. Oh, wait. Hold on. Look at this. Miss Eleanor Metcalf of Tacanic and Merton Dunn of New York spent Sunday afternoon at the lake. Look at that. That's her future husband. This is about a year before they get married. Going on a little date by the lake. Look at that. That's cute. Yes, they were canoodling. In pure 1904 fashion, they were canoodling. Let's see about this one. Okay, yeah, that's them just attending one of their graduations. What about this one? Mary and Eleanor Metcalf gave a party Saturday evening in honor of their guest, Miss Lucia Gallagher of Philadelphia. Those present were Ellen Terry, Pearl, Mabel. Okay. Wait, no, that's the same. Yeah, it's the same one. Oh, wait, hold on. And here's the thing. For their marriage, June wedding approaching. Mr. and Mrs. H.F. Metcalf have issued invitations for the marriage of their daughter, Eleanor Benedict Metcalf, to Thomas Merton Dunn of Weatherly, Pennsylvania. The event takes place at the First Presbyterian Church on Wednesday evening, June 14th at 8 o'clock. After the ceremony, a reception will be held at the family residence on Harrison Street from 8:30 until 10:30. Okay, wait, hold on. This is the same one. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much the same one, with maybe like some slight differences. Okay, yeah, that doesn't really give us any new information. Let's see. Miss Helen Lewis gave a dinner of 12 covers Tuesday night for the Dunn Metcalf bridal party. Predominating colors and decoration and menu were pink and white. During the dinner, the bride presented her maids with the beautiful pearl bar pins. The groom gave his ushers monogram scarf pins. Those present were Miss Metcalf, Miss Eleanor Metcalf, Miss Lucas, Gary, Miss Lewis, Miss Mabel Lewis, and Thomas Dunn, Charles Dunn, Lawrence Smith, Dudley Latham, Evan Bredworth, and Harry Lewis. Wow, Harry was there too. Oh wait, no wait, that can't be the all there is with the wedding. There has to be more. Marriage license have been issued. Okay, there has to be a longer one. I know because I found it earlier. I found it before. Okay, hold on. Well, there's the only next thing is 1908. Eleanor Metcalf, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. H.F. Metcalf, had the misfortune to fall and dislocate her kneecap one day last week. Oh, God. She will probably be confined to the house for some time, as she incurred a similar injury a few years ago. Oh. God, dislocated knee. Again, in 1908. Where they probably, all that they probably do to heal it is just snap it back in place. Which just, ugh. This does not sound fun in the slightest. Oh. Okay, let's see now. I think the next thing I have to do, though, is I have to now look at... What do they call her husband? Thomas Dunn? Let's look up Thomas Dunn real quick, and let's change it specifically to 1905 so we can get a more detailed thing for their wedding. Where is it? I could have... I know there was a longer... Hold on. What if I make it... Okay, Luzerne. Specifically June. Okay, there's a Thomas A. Dunn. Here we go. Is this for the actual wedding, or is this an invitation thing? Okay, no. Hold on. Following marriage license. Hold on. What about this one? And bride. Returned from the bridal tour on Thursday. Okay, yeah. I could have sworn there was a... Hold on. Dunn Metcalf. That's... Hold on, wait, what did I find? Was it not her wedding? Hold on, wait. Marion Metcalf? Okay, wait. Here it is! Okay, I knew there was another one. Because I found this when we looked up Marion. Why was it not... Dunn Metcalf. I don't know why. I guess maybe the title didn't search? That's weird. Okay, so this is an actual full thing of their wedding. so we can actually learn a bit more about this. Okay, yeah. Pretty wedding at the Presbyterian Church last evening. One of the most charming weddings of the season was celebrated at the Presbyterian Church last night when Eleanor Benedict... Okay, that's why she wasn't coming up. Because they only have her first and middle name here. Eleanor Benedict, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Henry F. Metcalf, was married to Thomas Merton Dunn of Weatherly. Okay, so that's also why he didn't show up, because they do the full name here. The church was beautifully decorated with palms and ferns and cut flowers, the predominating colors being white and pink. Promptly at 8 o'clock, to the strains of Lohengrin's beautiful wedding march, the bridal party came up the aisle. First came the ushers, Mr. Charles Dunn, brother of the groom, Mr. Dudley Latham of Weatherly, Mr. Evan Brederwolf of Philadelphia, and Mr. Henry Metcalf Lewis, cousin of the bride. They were followed by the bridesmaids, Miss Helen Lewis, Miss Mabel Lewis, and Miss Helen Terry, all cousins of the bride, and Miss Martha Lucas of Corning, New York. The maids wore white lace-trimmed gowns and with pale pink griddles and carried huge bunches of pink roses. Hey, Rice, good to see you. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great evening tonight. We're currently reading about the wedding of the girl above me here, Eleanor Metcalf. The bride of honor, Miss Marion Metcalf, sister of the bride, in a lace gown and white girdle, came next. Following her came the bride on the arm of her father. Her gown was of white satin trimmed with point lace, and the veil was fastened with a handsome pearl and sapphire pin, the gift of the groom. She carried a shower bouquet of bride's roses and maidenhair fern, and made a charming appearance. As the party approached the altar, they were met by the groom and his best man, Mr. Lawrence Smith of New York City. Reverend J.W. Bishkoff, pastor of the church, performed the ceremony, after which the wedding party filled out of the church to the joyous strains of Mendelssohn's Wedding March. I'm sure I pronounced that correctly. The newly married couple went at once to the home of the bride's parents, where there was a reception, followed by a wedding supper to the relatives of both families and the young friends. The house was beautifully decorated. The supper was served by Mrs. Chauvelin of Wilkes-Barre, and Oppenheim furnished music for the evening. The happy couple went west on a late train for an extended tour, and on their return will be at Weatherly until Christmas, after which they will reside in Taconic. The bride is the youngest daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Henry Metcalf and is greatly beloved for her charming manners and sweetness of character. Mr. Dunn is a promising young businessman, and the esteem with which their friends regard them is attested by the many beautiful presents which were received at the bride's home. There we go. This is what I was looking for. This is their wedding. Okay. I recently made a terrible mistake. I've got a booster box of magic cards. Oh no. I'm like an Eastern European vampire compulsively counting grains at a crossroad. Oh no. I guess that's your... I mean, hey, if it brings you joy, that's all that matters. As long as you can afford it, right? Right? You're being financially responsible with your purchases, right? Okay, so now, does she go by Mrs. Thomas Dunn? Thomas M. Dunn? Hold on, let's change it to 1905 to 1910. Let's see. What time compression? Or whatever the one where I sit down and then it's 3 hours later. Yeah, no, that's That is true. I mean, that happens with these streams. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours, and it does not feel like it in the slightest. Okay, let's see. Is it TM done? My back. Thank you for the posture check, Rice.
Drink.
And for the hydrate redeem. I will definitely do that. Okay, so it seems like she goes by both. So she goes both by TM Dunn and Thomas M. Dunn. I'm glad you don't have a redeem for an idol meeting. No, God, no. You don't want to. I don't want to do that. You don't want to see that. Trust me. Okay, yeah. So she goes by both from the looks of it. That's just her visiting somebody, visiting New York. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, this is one of their kids. Hold on. Mr. and Mrs. T.M. Dunn are rejoicing over the arrival of a little daughter at their home on Sunday morning, April 4th. Okay, so that's Elizabeth. Okay. And then, so is it, does she go by Thomas? I think we already saw this one that's about their wedding. Is this the same thing we already just read? No, it's slightly different, so I think I'll go ahead and keep that one. But you could pull up a picture of an actual literal idol like Venus or Will. Oh, that's actually good. Golden Calf has entered the chat. Yeah, something like that. That actually would be kind of funny. That's actually not a bad idea. Actually, wait, hold on. I know who we can ask about this. Hold on, let me pause the music real quick. Let's ask Lewis. Hey, Lewis, do you think I should have a idol redeem?
I don't want to say what I'm thinking right now.
You're scaring me, man. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, actually, okay, well then, how about, what are you thinking, Lewis? What are you thinking?
Yes, so true.
Okay, sure. Whatever, Lewis. Whatever you say. All right. Yes, he is very wise. Let's see. How about this one? Okay, yeah, no, that's not really anything. Oh, look at this. 1908. T. Martin Dunn, son of Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Dunn, is a candidate for Prothonotory on the Republican ticket in Wyoming County, and his chances for election are very bright. Look at that. So we know he won. We know he won because of that census record we found. So look at that, yeah. Lewis is concealing his power level. I mean, yeah, I mean, who knows what he's hiding from us in that little peanut body of his. Okay, let's see. What else do we got here? T. Merton Dunn and wife. Okay, so he also goes by T. Merton Dunn as well. At the recent election, Merton was elected to the office of Prothonotary and Clerk of Courts in Wyoming County, having the largest majority of any candidate on the Republican ticket. Okay, yeah, so that's them saying that he won. Let's see. Yeah, that's their daughter being born again. So what if I look up Merton Dunn? T. Merton. Okay, yeah, so there's more. So I gotta remember all these, that these are all possible ones. Let's see, what about this one? They probably refer to him as, I just realized with this one, they probably do refer to him as T. Merton Dunn because his father is Thomas Dunn. So that he's Thomas Dunn Jr. So probably to differentiate between the two, that's why they do this. Let's see. What else do we got here? Oh, yeah, Thimble Party. Okay, actually, yeah, I remember this one. We found this article before because we were like, what is a... We had to look up what a Thimble Party was. Oh. Wait, what is this? Professor and Mrs. Kepperly and Mr. and Mrs. T. Merton Dunn are rejoicing over the birth of a son in each family. Youngsters came on Friday. A coincidence is the fact that the parties were married the same day also. Wait, what? They were? Kepperly, that's, That's who we... That's No, that's Marion. That's Marion Lighton. Right? Yeah, Isaac Kepperly. Oh my god, they did get married the same day. Look at that. June 14th, 1905. And that's the same day, yeah, that our people got married. And so they both had a son on the same day as well. Oh, I gotta make note of that because that's crazy. Married same day and had son born same day as Marion Lighton. That is a crazy... I mean, I don't know if they necessarily planned that, but... Yeah, so this is her son being born. I just came on Friday. Wow. That is a crazy coincidence. Okay. The house of Mr. and Mrs. T. Merton Dunn, now occupied by proto-notary Frank Major, will be remodeled this spring, after which Mr. and Mrs. Dunn will move into it themselves. Wow, that's considering he moved into the house because this is 1907. He becomes pro-notary, or proto-notary in like the next year, 1908, I think. So he bought the house from the other from the other person. New York. Okay, yeah. It's just them visiting somewhere. What about this? Oh, yeah, this is them coming back from Europe. Yeah, this is when Marion went to Europe. And one of the other Lewis. Yeah, okay, I do remember that. Okay, so let's change it now to 1911 to 1920. We'll start with this one first. Okay, only one. Mrs. T. Merton Dunn, today's guest of Mr. and Mrs. T. F. Dunn on 2nd Street. Okay, that's from the Weatherly Herald. That's her visiting her in-laws. Okay, T.M. Dunn? Okay, 3. Oh, look at this. It's an advertisement. It's the same advertisement it looks like in each one of these. Wanted. Girl for general housework. Apply to West Harrison Street, Mrs. T.M. Dunn. She was looking for a housekeeper. Hold on, wait. Do they have a housekeeper in 1910? They do. In 1910, they have one, so they needed another one. They had a servant. 15-year-old servant. Dang. In 1920, though, I don't think they have one. No, they don't. They might not have been able to, honestly, like, afford one, maybe. At that point, because he had passed away. Okay, so let's try Thomas Dunn. Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm going to change it real quick to... Oh boy. To Luzerne County. I'm going to change it specifically to Thomas M. Dunn, because as you can see here, there is a Thomas A. Dunn who also lives in this area. So let's narrow that down a little bit. Trip, Saturday trip. Yeah, it really drops off. When does he pass away? 1918. Let's see. Oh, wait, hold on. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas M. Dunn are expected home from Germany about the 1st of May. Mr. Dunn went to Berlin to take the Friedman treatment and writes to his friends that he has been greatly benefited by it. This is the reason for the passport that we saw, because this is 1913. The passport application here. This is the passport application from February of 1913. So he was going to Germany to receive the Friedman treatment. So maybe he was still sick? What is the Friedman treatment? Oh, it was a thing for tuberculosis, and we know he had tuberculosis because of his draft card, his World War One draft card. It says right here, previous conditions, tuberculosis. So I don't know if he has it. I don't know if he still has it at that point, but he, at least we do know that that's apparently for this. Yeah, the Friedman treatment for tuberculosis. It seems like there's a lot of back and forth on like whether the Friedman treatment, I think, actually did anything. Yeah, it was basically like a kind of almost like a vaccine kind of thing where he would inject he would inject them people with like a weaker strain of tuberculosis, but it seems like it didn't really work from what I'm just seeing here. Let's see. Because this here... Okay, so they left February 21st. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas M. Dunn will leave on Saturday for a trip to Germany. So they left end of February, and they didn't get back till May. Yeah, because this one... Protho Notary and Mrs. Thomas M. Dunn are expected to arrive in New York from a European trip today, and Mr. and Mrs. Metcalf will go down to meet them. Okay, yeah, so end of May is when they got back. And was he still the Protho Notary during this time? Like, was he still technically that, and he had to, like, go to Europe for several months to get this treatment? That, from the looks of it, didn't really work. For North Carolina, where they'll spend the winter. Are they spending the winter there because of his condition? Because in March of 1914, they're still there. Miss Helen Terry will leave today for Asheville, North Carolina on a visit to Mr. and Mrs. Thomas M. Dunn. Is this them also just... Okay, so this is when they came back. May of 1914 is when they came back. So yeah, so they spent several months there. Thomas M. Dunn is ill. Oh, Mrs. Thomas. So Eleanor is ill in this photo. Eleanor is ill in that photo. June 1918. Leave on an automobile trip to Tennessee. Wait, when did he die? 1918, but when in 1918? October 25th, 1918. Oh, come on. There's nothing else? Okay. We already did the T. Merton one, I think. Or no, we didn't. TM done? With relatives. That's just them returning from a trip. T. Merton. Okay, yeah, this is him leaving. Mr. and Mrs. T. Merton Dunn of Tacanic will sail next Saturday for Germany for the benefit of Mr. Dunn's health. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's why they went to Germany. Okay, what if we get rid of the Mrs. and we just do Thomas Merton Dunn. We do specifically 1918. And we just make it all of Pennsylvania. Okay, hold on. Thomas M. Dunn? June, July. Oh wait, what does it say? Hold on. Whoa, look at this. Thieves broke into the coal office of Thomas M. Dunn one night recently, but very little of value was found. Dang, he got his... Also, I don't know, this is just me, but I feel like it's kind of crazy that somebody who clearly suffered from tuberculosis is working in the coal industry. As a coal office, I just feel like that's a bad combo. Oh wait, here we go, finally. Piston Gazette. It's a very solid point, yeah. Oh, here we go. Thomas M. Dunn is dead at his home in Tacanic after a long illness of tuberculosis. He was prothonotary and clerk of the courts of Wyoming County for 2 terms, but had recently been engaged in the coal business. His wife and 2 children survive. Okay. So yeah, so he left being working for the county, and then he started the coal business. Okay, hold on. Is there a longer one? Yeah, because see here it says long illness with tuberculosis extending through a number of years. So that same it had to have been that same tuberculosis in 1913. So yeah, so he had it probably on and off or got better or worse at times, but it's crazy again to like know you have tuberculosis and you go into the coal industry. That just seems insane. TB is to this day TB is the #1 cause of death from infectious disease. Wait, is tuberculosis still that common? I feel like it's... Or are you just saying that, like, historically, like, more people have died from that, like, throughout all of human history? Like, weirdly, right now? Because I feel like you don't hear about tuberculosis. I mean, maybe in places other than the Western world. Because I feel like you never hear about it out here. Let's see, what do these other ones say? Okay, wait, that's the same. Yeah, that's the same one as that one. So that's all we... Is this all we're getting? I think this is all we're getting. Yeah, because these are all the same article. Okay, what about Thomas Merton? TM done? Okay, here we go. This is from Scranton. Celine, well, oh god, this is the classic blunder. The classic blunder that we've seen so many times in these newspapers, where you'll have an article that'll say TM Dunn is slowly improving after a long illness. You'll say that, and then like a day or two later, they die. Because this is from October 28th. He died October 25th. You're a little behind there, my guy. When this was posted, he died 3 days ago. And then this is a thing for his funeral. The funeral service of the late T.M. Dunn were held with his family home Monday afternoon. The deceased had been ill for a long time, and the end was not unexpected. The services were conducted by Reverend F.B. Newman, pastor at the Presbyterian Church, and burial was made in Sunnyside Cemetery. You need TB tests every 4 years to work in education, at least here in Las Vegas. Really? The author John Green is basically giving up writing fiction to just write about tuberculosis and do things about it. But he is an author. Wow, that's... I don't know. I just feel like tuberculosis is something you don't hear about anymore. Because my grandfather had tuberculosis. And had to go to lived in a sanatorium for a few years. Right after my grandparents got married. And he survived the tuberculosis, but it, yeah, I don't know. Bummer honeymoon. Yeah, well, I don't think it was immediately after. It was not that long after they got married, though. But what's crazy about that paperclip? I think I've talked about this on stream before, but when I did my road trip around the U.S., one of the places I went to was where my grandparents, like, where they grew up and lived, because they're from, they were originally from North Dakota. And I found out that the building that was the sanatorium that my grandfather was in, it's abandoned, but it still exists. It's an abandoned urban exploration site, basically. It still exists. And then when my grandmother passed away, we found in her stuff a photo album, and in that photo album were photos of her visiting him at the sanatorium. Like pictures of him in the sanatorium and like, you know, looking through the windows and stuff like that, and him in like the bed and everything like that. And I was able on this road trip, I went to that sanatorium. Or no, actually no. If I went there, that would be trespassing. I allegedly went to this abandoned sanatorium, and if I did go in, what I would have done was take pictures in the same spots that those other pictures my grandmother took were, and because for some of them maybe if I was there, I would have been able to figure it out. And so I had both like the shot of like the old shot that my grandmother took, and then I would have had the shot that I took in the same spot, because I was able to find some of them, like match it in the building. Is this why you know about the Corn Palace? That's South Dakota. That's not North Dakota. There's a difference. There are differences between the Dakotas. That sounds like it would have been very cool if you had done it, and it's a shame that you very clearly, definitely didn't. That's so cool. If you were able to do it, yeah. If I would have done that, that would have been really cool. Yeah. Yeah, if I would have done that, it would have been a crazy experience to basically be in that same spot, you know, all those years later when the building was abandoned. Okay, so we figured out what happened to him. He did die of tuberculosis. But now we gotta go back to Eleanor. We still got like 30 years of newspapers to go through. So we got 21 to 1930, and let's change it back to Wyoming County. Okay, we got one thing for 1924. Is this a wedding? Oh, no. Okay, so this is the Lewis family. This is their parents, Bradley W. Lewis and Mary G. Metcalf. This is Helen, Mabel, and Henry's parents. This is their 50th wedding anniversary. So it says here, yeah, refreshments were served in the dining room. Mrs. T.M. Dunn pouring and Mrs. Henry M. Lewis serving. Betty Dunn, Josephine Lewis, and Mary Shoemaker assisted in serving. So Betty Dunn, that's her daughter. That's Eleanor's daughter. She's Elizabeth, but it seems like she's going by Betty in a lot of these. Okay, let's see. This is T. Let's try Thomas. Nothing. What if we just get rid of the M? That's Thomas F. Dunn. That's not who we're looking for. T. Merton? Oh, Merton Dunn. Nothing. Wow, okay, so there's not a lot for... So the only one we had was the TM one. What if we get rid of the Wyoming County? Okay, there's only 3 in Lackawanna County. Wait, hold on, what is this? Mrs. Eleanor Dunn. Oh, she is going by Eleanor Dunn. Mrs. Eleanor Dunn and children and Cecile Ball motored to Weatherly Sunday to visit Mrs. T.M. Dunn. We're about to leave for Tennessee, where she will spend some time. Okay, wait. So I have to search Eleanor. Hold on. Okay. That's what we have to do. She is properly going by Eleanor Dunn. Okay. That's why there's not a lot showing up, is because she's not going by, because her husband passed away. She's not going by his name anymore. She's going by Eleanor. Okay, Henry Dunn of Blair Cat. Okay, yeah, that's just her son. Okay, this is interesting. Mrs. Eleanor Dunn, but I mean, she's not She's technically not married anymore, but she was. Okay, wait, yeah. And this is her with her sister, Mrs. Walter Tewksbury. That's Marion, her sister. So that is her. Let's see. Henry Dunn, a student of Blair Academy. So it's been, okay, that's... Again, thing with Henry. We'll wait to call. Wait, hold on, what is this? This was like a list of something. Very sorry, but Tewksbury is a hobbit name. People from the Shire are called... Oh, wait, that's right! Because I looked it up. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. Okay, so she contributed to this, to the American Legion endowment. Even if it's not true, it should be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how because I made a short on my YouTube channel, because Walter Tewksbury is the guy who was an Olympian. He was the Olympic sprinter, who won gold at the Paris Olympics. And nobody in the short called me out for saying it wrong, so I'm gonna say that I said it right. Yeah, this is just her kids. Oh wait, what is this? 1926. Mrs. Eleanor Dunn buys out trucking business? Wait, hold on. The trucking and ice business, which has been conducted by Herbert Stonier, was, on Friday of last week, purchased by Miss Eleanor Dunn and will be carried on by her in conjunction with her coal business. Mrs. Dunn has built up a fine coal trade by giving service to her customers, and that she will be just as anxious to please in her new line goes without saying. Dang, look at you, Eleanor. Being a businesswoman in 1926, owning 2 businesses? That's awesome. Is this what the young people call a girl boss? Would Eleanor count as a girl boss in this case? She's extremely girl bossing. Okay. Wow, that's really cool. Don't ask me about young people, though. I could not tell you. I mean, I feel like I can barely figure it out sometimes. Okay, this is just a party that she attended. What is this? Whoa, what is this? Quick action when fire was discovered, checks serious blaze. On Wednesday morning about 6:30, the fire alarm was rung when it was discovered that fire had broken out in the garage on Bridge Street owned by C.P. McCone. Harvey Thompson, an employee at the garage, had been in the building and took care of the furnace a short time before. Having returned from his breakfast, he found that smoke was coming from the storage room, and after entering, found that the Atlantic refining truck, of which Homer Lilly is driver, had caught fire in some unknown manner. Having seen Mr. Lilly a short time before, Mr. Thompson called him, and in a few minutes, with the aid of a fire extinguisher, the fire was put out and the truck run out into the street. A new Cadillac car belonging to Miss Eleanor Dunn was standing alongside of the truck and was also damaged to some extent. The total of damage is estimated at $500. Dang, she had a new Cadillac that got damaged in this? That sucks. Just collateral damage from this fire. In a 1927 Cadillac, too. Let's see. See, what is this? Titanic girl motor victim. Miss Betty Dunn injured in automobile accident. Oh, this is her daughter. Early Thursday evening of last week, Miss Betty Dunn, daughter of Miss Eleanor Dunn of Titanic and a student at Cedar Crest College at Allentown, received injuries to the head and back when the Chrysler touring car in which Miss Dunn and 5 friends were riding collided with a car driven by Junior Hess of Allentown and threw the car in which she was an occupant to the side of the road, striking a telephone pole. The young people had just left Allentown and were on their way back to Cedar Crest when the accident occurred. Miss Dunn and one of the young men in the car were taken to the Allentown hospital, where at first it was thought that she was suffering from fractures, but x-rays were taken which proved the injuries to be less serious. The young man had a scalp wound which necessitated 8 stitches. The rest of the party received minor bruises. Mrs. Dunn was notified of the accident and left for Allentown Friday morning and remained with her daughter all weekend of this week. Mrs. Dunn will return to Allentown in a day or two and will be with Miss Dunn until the physicians advise moving her to her home here. Wow, they're incredibly lucky to have 5 people in a car, like especially in 1927 in these old cars, that if they collided, there's like zero safety. There are 0 safety measures at all. And this is a week later. Miss Betty Dunn returns home Wednesday. Mrs. Eleanor M. Dunn drove down to Allentown on Monday and returned on Wednesday afternoon accompanied by her daughter, Miss Betty, who had been a patient in the hospital at Allentown for the past 2 weeks as the result of an automobile accident. Miss Dunn is now well on the road to recovery. That's good that it was nothing super serious. Ready shower. I just want to see who else is. Mrs. Brown, Mrs. Shades, if there are any names that I recognize, which I don't think I do. Nope, don't recognize any of those names. Yeah, that's just her traveling, visiting people. How about this one? Okay, that's just her transporting her daughter to and from college. What about this one? Mr. and Mrs. Henry Metcalf. Okay, yeah, that's just them again driving down to the college to visit. Oh, what is this? Okay, we skipped ahead all the way to 1930. Henry Dunn and Stanley DeWitt have opened an office in the Henrik block of for General Insurance. Mr. Dunn is the son of... Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll save that for when we research him. Let's see. Okay. Okay, that's her son getting married. Okay. So I think now, yeah, we're going to focus mainly on just being Eleanor Dunn right now. That seems to be her main... Oh, wow. Okay. She was busy. 181 results. Wow, okay. Okay, what I think I might have to do is I think I might do some of these... Because, like, this is... way too many. It looks like a lot of them are kind of like this, where it's like, spent some time here. But a majority of them are from this period, 35 through 39. Like bridge, and like it's like bridge club, traveling. Okay, so hold on. Let's look at what does 41 to 50 look like? Because we're getting kind of near the end here, what I want to call it. Whoa. That's crazy that suddenly she was around for... Hold on. This is... TM done? No. Thomas? No. Merton? Nope. Okay, hold on, let's go back to Eleanor. What if we make it just Pennsylvania? Okay, there's some. Okay, hold on, what is this? Okay, yeah, no, that's just traveling again. Okay, what is this? Wait, what is this? What is this? Civilian Army riflemen get expert aid. Rifle Association System Schools, 75,000 boys a year take over for first time. civilians take over. The setup was a little different at the NRA matches this year. Used to be a show was run mostly by army men, personnel of 2,000 to officiate and handle scoring, and the like, with a lot of soldiers and Marines and National Guardsmen competing against the top cream civilian sharpshoots from all over. But this year, for reasons too olive drab to mention, just a handful of Sam's boys were in the shooting match, and the event became, for the first time, a strictly civilian show. Of course, yeah, because World War I. These titans of the firing line all are calm, comfortable, casual, unhurried people with no nerves and less temperament. If it weren't for the humble noise the bullets make when hit the target blocks, a silly sound like the click of teeth, you'd never know anything more exciting was going on than a flower fancier's picnic. Men and women lounged relaxed all along the range, some in low voice, droning conversation, some cleaning guns and checking shooting boxes, some blackening iron sights with a small miner's torch to deflect vision-fuzzing glints from the sun. With the dexterity of the prairie bred, they made canapines of their hands to light cigarettes in a ruffling wind. Their faces are uniformly frank, pleasant, rested. As a matter of eye-filling fact, there are some pretty frillies at the matches, but there are no fizzles with the firearms. That's a crazy alliteration. Some pretty frillies at the masses, but there are no frizzles with the firearms. Take this Helen Jenkins from Columbus, Ohio. Blonde and dreamy and a sweet shot. Then there's Mary Lou Bellew of Mannington, West Virginia, last year's junior champ, and a very tidy package and handy kid. Wait. Not to mention Helen Stiles of Miami, Florida, no slouch with pistols, and Eleanor Dunn from up in New York and Connecticut, who was the only woman in the Winchester World's Record Swiss match at Poughkeepsie a few weeks back and tucked it right in the pocket along her dark red lipstick. I don't think this is our Eleanor Dunn. This is a different Eleanor Dunn. As much as I wish that she was a champion, like sharpshooter, it says Eleanor Dunn from up in New York and Connecticut. This is a different Eleanor Dunn, which I'm very disappointed because I really wanted her to be a sharpshooter, because that would be awesome if she was. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, that's just a family member getting married. Let's see. Hold on, wait. Arthur Kelso Dunn, a 16-month-old marksman registered as member of the National Rifle Association when only 3 hours old, gets expert coaching from his aunt, Eleanor Dunn, holder of 3 records, who instructs Waves at Hunter College. Okay, that's not her. Yeah, she's way too young. Yeah. God, that would be so cool if this was the same Eleanor Dunn, but it's not. What is this? Oh, wait. Oh, this is her mother passing away. This is her mother's obituary. Pamela Benedict Metcalf, 87. Surviving are her husband. Wow, that's crazy that her... Oh, that's right. Surviving are her husband, Henry F. Metcalf, owner of the Metcalf Historical Museum. That's right. He in his mansion. I remember reading about this or hearing about this uh when researching the Metcalf mansion, that their father, Eleanor's father, had his own, like, he collected stuff and started his own little museum in that mansion. And then Mrs. Marion Tewksbury and Mrs. Eleanor Dunn, both of Tacanic. 7 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren. Oh, wait, did he... And then he passed away. Wait, is this him? Yeah, Henry Metcalf, owner of private museum, dies. He died only like a few months later. Oh. Wow. Funeral service is held for the day for Henry Freeman Metcalf, 90. Well-known collector of Bibles, relics, and antique furniture, who died Friday night at his home, West Harrison Street, Tacanic. Prominent Wyoming County businessman before he retired several years ago, Mr. Metcalf was vice president of Wyoming National Bank. As a hobby, he built and operated the Metcalf Museum, termed the largest private historical collection in Pennsylvania and widely known throughout the East. A native of Dushore, he was the son of the late Henry and Sarah Dana Metcalf. He was the oldest member of the Tacanic Presbyterian Church, a 32nd degree Mason, and a Shriner. Mr. Metcalf's wife, the former Pamela Benedict, died in last June. He's survived by 2 daughters. Yep. Ms. Eleanor Dunn and Miss Marion Tewksbury. 7 grandchildren. Henry Dunn, Tacanic. Stanley DeWitt. Okay. So as of right now, it looks like Henry Dunn, his son, or her son, is still in Tacanic. It seems like he worked in Tacanic, so it seems like he's not leaving. What is this? Okay, this is a different Eleanor Dunn. Not who we're looking for. Yeah, most of these look like they're just... This is all mostly their, like, father's obituary stuff and their mother's obituary stuff. What is this? This one doesn't look super clear. Hold on. Cecil Ball, who recently purchased... Oh, wait, look at this. Cecil Ball, who recently purchased the coal business of Mrs. Eleanor M. Dunn, has sold it to Judson Crandall and George Kukura, who are planning to operate as partners. The business will be known as the Tacanic Fuel Company. Okay, so she sold her business, it says recently, so 1947. So dang, she had that business a long time. She got that business through the Depression. That's awesome. She was a good businesswoman. She was able to get that thing through the Depression. And World War II. What is this? Okay, this is a different Eleanor Dunn. Okay, yeah, those are all the different Eleanor Dunn. Okay, if I make it... So it shows that there are multiple Eleanor Dunns during this time. That's one we already saw. Okay. So yeah, so let's now change it to 51 to 54. Because he passed away in 54, and that's where I think we're going to call it for today. Okay, let's see. A lot of 1s and 2s and 4s here. But we'll go with the Luzerne ones. There are multiple, and apparently requirement is that you have to be a badass. I mean, yeah, she seems like it. Okay, see, look, and now we have here a Miss Eleanor R. Dunn. Okay, hold on. This one's Tacanic. What is this? Brevities. Okay, she was attending a funeral of somebody here. And this looks like the same thing. Yeah, but she's also attending it with Helen Terry, her cousin. Okay, let's see. Oh no, she died in 1953. Oh, I got that wrong. I thought she was 1954. Okay, so she died in 1953. Okay, yeah, here's her... one of her obituaries. Wow, this is incredibly blurry. Mrs. Eleanor M. Dunn. Mrs. Eleanor Metcalf Dunn of 44 West Harrison Street, Tacanic, died this morning at 8 in Wilkes-Barre General Hospital. After brief illness, she was 70. A lifelong resident of Tacanic, Mrs. Dunn was a daughter of the late Harry and Pamela Benedict. She was a member of the Tacanic Presbyterian Church. Surviving are 2 children, Henry Dunn and Mrs. Betty DeWitt, both of Tacanic. 2 sisters, Mrs. Walter B. Wait, oh, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. She doesn't have 2 sisters. Walter B. Tixbury, that's Marion, and Miss Helen B. Terry. That's not her sister, that's her cousin. That's a mistake that they put in there. Both Tacanic and 3 grandchildren. Okay. So we just need to figure out who the grandchildren are. So it's possible that one of these 3 grandchildren are the ones who got this photograph. Okay, and then there's another one here. Funeral services for Mrs. Eleanor Metcalf Dunn were held this afternoon at the home of her daughter, Mrs. Betty DeWitt Tacanic. Reverend Robert Smearl of Tacanic Presbyterian Church officiated. Okay. Again, these... look at this right here. This is another example of these newspapers being so outdated. Mrs. Eleanor Dunn, West Harrison Street, is a patient at General Hospital, Wilkes-Barre. She was already dead. She was dead, like, wait, this June 30th? She died... Or sorry, October, wait. That's Thomas. What day did she die again? June 27th. She was already dead for 3 days. You messed up by a lot. What is this? Okay. Sad trombone. Yeah, they really did get that wrong. Okay, hold on. So that's Lucerne County. What about Lackawanna? Really quick. Nope, those aren't. Here we go. Okay. Here's a longer one. Eleanor Dunn taken by death. This is Eleanor Benedict Metcalf Dunn, 70, of 44 West Harrison Street, Tacanic, died this morning in Wilkes-Barre General Hospital, where she has been patient for a few days. She was the widow of Thomas Dunn, former clerk of courts for Wyoming County. A lifelong resident of Tacanic, she was the daughter of Henry and Pamela Benedict Metcalf. Mrs. Dunn was a member of the First Presbyterian Church, Tacanic. Surviving are 2 children, Henry Metcalf Dunn and Mrs. Betty DeWitt, both of Tacanic, and 1 sister, Mrs. Walter B. Tewksbury LaPlume. The funeral will be Monday at 2 p.m. from the home of her daughter, Mrs. Stanley DeWitt, Harrison Street, Tacanic, with Reverend Roberts Samuel Tacanic, Secretary of Lackawanna Presbyterian officiating, burial Sunnyside Cemetery, Tacanic. Okay, these are not, these 1954 ones are definitely not her. Okay. Hey, that is good. We got a, you know, a thing for her. Let me just change it to, hold on. June 1953. And we just get rid of the Lackawanna County one. Eleanor Dunn. That's crazy. So apparently the same month, a different Eleanor Dunn, Eleanor R. Dunn, also died in Philadelphia. So it looks like this is... Yeah, that's all the newspaper records we have for her. Let me just do a... Metcalf Dunn. Looks like... Yeah, this one we read. Is this the same one? Yeah, this is the same one. I think it's a clearer version, so I'll keep that up for now. Okay, and then before we're done here, I just want to double check that all of these newspapers here are things that we did find. Okay, yes, this is her obituary. This is the one that we found. And then this one. Oh, no, this is different. EBM Dunn. Eleanor Benedict Metcalf Dunn. She was the widow of Thomas Dunn. Starting her 2 children. And a sister. I mean, it's pretty much the same information, just slightly... This version is clearer. Okay. And then, okay, this one last article here. Oh, this is the marriage article that we already found. Yep. All right, sweet. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's where we're going to end it for today. It's getting late, and I don't want to stay up too late tonight, unfortunately. But we did get a lot. The only thing I am going to do off stream is that I am going to go through what was it? It was 1931 to 1940 in Wyoming County. Yeah. Where there's 181. And it looks like a majority of them are like, oh, visited friends. Like, so I'm gonna go through these and like kind of figure out and make sure which ones are actually like possibly relevant. And I'll share on Sunday if I find anything interesting. So yeah, and yeah, we found it good. I think we did a good job because I mean we now know more about the birthday girl. I mean, she seemed to have been a really interesting character considering she unfortunately lost her husband at a young age, but then went on to not only be a single mother but also a business owner and own 2 successful businesses. Because that coal business was around for like over 2 decades. Got it through the Depression, got it through World War II. That's really cool. That's really cool that she was able to do that. So many of these people were so unpredictably cool. I know, it is crazy. Like, I was not expecting this at all when I researched this. The fact that this is a photo from just a small town in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. The fact that we have all these crazy stories from just this one generation, because this is basically a generation of the town. Hold on, let's go ahead and let's go back to, actually wait, before we go, I think we should ask one other person how everything went today. Lewis, how well do you think our research went today?
This is a moment.
It was a moment. Thank you, Lewis. It was the moment. She was the moment. Yes, he is so right. Okay. So let's go ahead and head back here. Oops, sorry for the jump scare. But yeah, I mean, the fact that this whole photo, like, has been consistently interesting. Like, there has been interesting stuff, like, consistently. Maybe you'll have, like, 1 or 2 people in a row where it's like, okay, it's more just kind of generic, normal stuff. It is crazy just how much crazy stuff we were able to find. This stream taught me I need to do cool stuff. I mean, yeah, you never know. If somebody was going to research your life, 150 years from now, what are they going to think? Me, you, and the boys in Kazakhstan this summer. Trust me, bro. Oh, sure. I'm sure it'll go extremely well. Nothing, yeah, like that'll... I'm sure nothing will go wrong with that. All right, but yeah, that's where we're going to end it for tonight, folks. Thank you guys so much again for being here. If you're new here, I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. I do these streams every Sunday and Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we do history research like this. Sometimes I do also guerrilla streams, where we play games and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna have time, unfortunately, to do one this weekend. Yeah, I think I am a little too busy this weekend, and I don't think I'll have time to do it. So I'll see you guys, I think, on Sunday. Sunday will be our next stream where we'll continue on this journey. All right, and let's see. Let's go ahead and let's find somebody to raid. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead. We're going to raid Damien Verde. They are actually a paleontology VTuber that I've watched a little bit of. They're currently, in true fashion, they are playing Jurassic World Evolution 3. Building their own Jurassic Park. So let's go ahead and let's get a raid message. Let's get that one. And this will be for followers. All right. So yeah, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you guys had a great time. Yeah, so like I said, I don't think I'll be able to stream on Saturday this weekend or Friday, but I will definitely be here on Sunday where we will continue our journey of researching this thing, and we'll be on, number 21, which is crazy to think we are almost done with this thing. All right, but yeah, thank you guys so much for being here, and have a great night, everybody. Night or day, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, take care, everybody.